Every summer, heat waves inevitably hit the US and other parts of the world, causing climate alarmists and left-leaning media outlets to demand dramatic, disastrous changes to the global energy system. Unfortunately, this summer is no different. On Tuesday, US media outlets published a wave of stories about supposedly historic heat waves in Europe and North America. For example, The Washington Post published an article titled "Heat Waves in US-Europe Virtually Impossible Without Climate Change Study Finds." Similarly, Axios published a story titled "Historic and Enduring US Heat Wave by the Numbers." Although certain parts of the US have undoubtedly experienced strong heat waves this summer, there's no reason to believe these weather events are evidence that the world is hurtling toward a climate change catastrophe. In fact, the best available evidence suggests that heat waves recorded a century ago were more problematic than anything we're seeing today. Government researchers have been tracking heat waves for more than 100 years. According to data from the U.S. Climate Change Science Program, which is made available by the Environmental Protection Agency, the annual heat wave index for the contiguous 48 states was substantially higher in the 1930s than at any point in recent years. In some years in the 1930s, it was 4 times greater or even more. Additionally, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration (NOAA) has a large database of daily temperatures that goes back to 1948. NOAA used 1,066 weather stations located across the U.S. to collect this data. According to NOAA, huge swaths of the U.S. have experienced a significant decrease in abnormally hot days recorded since 1948, especially in the Midwest and northern and eastern Texas. Although it's true that some parts of the U.S. have seen the number of hotter than usual days increase over the past 70 years, including in California and the New York metropolitan area, both of which happen to be areas where a large number of media outlets are located, most weather stations have shown no meaningful changes or even declines. Meteorologist Anthony Watts, who works with me as a senior fellow at the Heartland Institute, analyzed NOAA's data in detail and found that 81% of the weather stations used in NOAA's database reported that since 1948 there has been either a decrease or no change in the number of unusually hot days. If the available data so clearly reveal that there is no heat wave crisis, why are media outlets suggesting the opposite is true? The answer is sloppy, irresponsible media reporting combined with cherry-picked data. Anyone who wants to show a long-term warming or cooling trend can do so by selectively choosing starting and ending points and data sets that will provide the answer you're looking for. For instance, if you start your examination of historic temperatures with figures collected in the 1970s when temperatures were unusually low compared to the rest of the century, then current temperatures look abnormally high. If you start around 2010, then temperatures over the past decade appear to have dipped below normal and are only now recovering. When many media outlets and left-wing politicians talk about climate change data, they almost always selectively choose a range that offers an incomplete picture of the larger available dataset. This makes it appear as though today's temperatures are historic when they are actually well within normal historical ranges.